Here's the girl who thinks mice are nice. But then these aren't run-of-the-kitchen cat bait. These, believe it or not, are racing mice. And this is what they race in. Yes, we're just in time for the start of the new mouse meeting. Mousetrack proprietor L.S. Jackson of Bath is at the starting gate, and they're off on the Derby Stakes. 6 runners inside transparent wheels burning up the 4-yard course. For a few inches, it's neck and neck. There's nothing in it. Now the favourite goes ahead, but number 4 is coming up, and it looks like a photo finish. Every Monday at the Royal Oak, Widcombe, owner-trainer Jackson presides at a meeting of the Bath Mouse Club, the only one in the world. The runners start from miniature traps and enjoy every minute of the race. Just watch them roar down the straight. Sometimes they change direction halfway. Sometimes they stop, get out and have a wash. Sometimes they take it so fast that they... Whoa! They're racing again, and this time they've put their shirts on a dark horse. Tough luck, he doesn't know which way to turn, but now the rest of the field is racing for the finishing post. The excitement's unbearable. Number 5 refuses to cross the line. Yes, no, yes, no, yes. Number 5 wins, and for the lucky owner there's a useful prize. Didn't I tell you she thinks mice are nice? So here's to the next meeting, tabby cats permitting. Through the soft red mud of a Devonshire wood plods a strangely equipped expedition. They're heading for a rock face which hides secrets of an unusual quest, a quest to which there are 4 clues. They're members of the Devon Spelaeological Society. And what's that? Well, that's clue number 1. Their clothes and the equipment they carry. These add up to clue number 2. Their miners' cap lamps are lit from batteries in their pockets. And, oh, what's this? Clue number 3 is that butterfly net. They face a stiff climb in search of the Rhino-Lophus ferrum-McQuinum. And if that sounds like a hint of bats in the belfry, well, that's our final clue to what lies above. As they struggle up the rock face, here's some light on those clues. First, the name of the society. The Devon well, in plain English, it means they're cave explorers. They're entering the Reed Cave at Buckfastleigh. More fantastic in design than any stage setting, these stalactites are nature's draperies. They gather their outline from minute chemical deposits left by untold billions of water droplets. To film them, our cameraman thought it well worthwhile to squeeze through a hole 10 inches high in the side of the rocky escarpment. This is a stalagmite. After millions of years, it will unite with a stalactite above. The sound of water dripping echoes eerily in nature's underworld, where no other sound has been heard for eons of time among these petrified fantasies. Below, a yawning gulf, and beyond, what? In such dark caverns, Dracula might have lived. From such brooding depths, the shape of night-born bats wing in search of prey. And yes, it is a bat. Remember the clue? The Rhino-Lophus ferrum-McQuinum, the greater horseshoe bat. A creature which flies like a bird, but is really a mammal. Up to the object of their quest, to a denizen of the darkness, which hangs from tiny claws on each of its 5 toes, silent in winter sleep. Queer survival from remote animal ancestors which had their being in trees. It still retains the main bone structure of an animal, with membranes joining neck, wrists, ankle and tail. Fully grown, it measures 13 inches from wingtip to wingtip. science has identified 12 types of bats in Britain to date. They feed on insects and have razor-sharp teeth. What do they weigh? 24 to 29 grams. Just a bag of skin and bones, and a lesson for mankind, the females are bigger than the males. By ringing or banding the bat's forearms with numbered aluminium bands, the Society has been able to keep a close check on their movements. Flights of 17 miles have been recorded in Britain. And to settle once and for all the anxious question, are there any vampire bats in Britain? Believe it or not, the true vampire, known as Desmodus, lives in the warmer regions of America, a little to the south of Hollywood. That's enough to upset any self-respecting British bat. The things they get up to in this Britain of ours. The thrill of a day out, for example. Well, just look at that table. Is it breakfast or dining out or just a plain tete-a-tete they're booked for? And take transport. Well, take transport wherever you like. But why make the poor man stand? And why is the cameraman tied to his cameras? Watch closely. In a moment, the walls will revolve, the floor give way, and they'll be held up by nothing but centrifugal force. She wanted to spread her wings. Now she's whirled right off her feet and can't do a thing about it. And what a way to treat a traveller in exhibition year. It's one thing to speed things up, but ring-a-ring-a-roses is a poor excuse when you're late home. Tea, if they can get it. And even if they wanted to throw the crockery about, they wouldn't. They're learning what flies do in the wintertime on Rideawall. Which end is his head on? He wouldn't know, although he's traveling at about 60 miles an hour, he's just getting nowhere. Any moment now, and the ceiling will fall in. Luckily, our cameraman was able to stop and start his camera by remote control. But what a spot to get into, and what a place to run out of film. But now he turns the forces of nature to serve the ends of his reel. It's a way they have in Water Street. Alf McGee, the driver, doesn't believe in letting things slide until they run right down. There's nothing to hold her after Alf's power cut. And what a stroke of luck he's right side up again. Just in time too, for here come some more innocents in quest of a basinful. They look as though butter wouldn't melt in their mouths. Well, we'll churn them, and what a carry-on for Prince Kari-Kari. Away she goes. Kasinga, the Snake Goddess, thinks it's the Indian rope trick. And her go. The floor drops lower the faster they spin. And by now, this luscious flower from the east has really got something to go up in the air about. Talk about a dream walking, but what a nightmare for Prince Kari-Kari's jungle queen. Park House versus the Foresters. It's a new game with a difference, so let battle commence. Brainwave of referee Fred Chambers, all you need is one egg empty, billiard table ditto, and a sound pair of lungs full. It's 7 aside plus a goalkeeper at each end. If the egg enters a pocket, it's a foul, no pun intended. The scene is the Park House Conservative Club at Gravesend, where the new game is more popular than darts or billiards. Rules are strict. Sit on your hands and keep them there. Otherwise, it's a penalty. Oh, well saved, sir. Hello, something's blowing up. It's an even tussle with the wind in everybody's favor. Here it comes. Yes, it's a goal. Incidentally, it's perfectly legal to blow or suck eggs in this game. But some things are definitely not done. It's 10 minutes each way with a 5-minute interval, and they really get their teeth into it. They're all fit men, but after 20 minutes of this, everybody ends up more blown than the egg. Every week of the season, all over Britain, thousands of footballs get kicked around whilst millions watch. In all weathers, the poor, harmless pill receives a bashing, kicked, knocked, trodden on, chased up and down the field, and for what? So that someone now and then can score a goal. It's a grueling test for both leather and workmanship. Alf Marshall, working in one of London's oldest football factories, has been at the job for 35 years and is here seen rough cutting the panels from carefully chosen hides, the first stage in football manufacture. After trimming, the panels are stretched through rollers. This helps to take the stretch out of the leather, which means the ball will keep its shape that much longer. Now the panels can be stamped out in their final size. It takes 2.5 to 3 square feet of hide to make one ball, the best being made from the butt or centre portion. British hides are the ideal choice for the purpose. There are no set rules about the number of panels, but nowadays 12 or 18 are usual. The more panels, the less risk of stretching, which is further reduced by beating out the leather, or canking as it's called. Hand sewing of panels gives the best results, and Jim Gosling believes in his own thread, which he makes from 5 strands of flax, twisted into one and waxed. Held in a clamp, the panels are sewn inside out and take roughly 500 stitches. A 12-panel ball will take as long as an hour and a half. It's unlikely that balls of more than 18 panels will ever be produced, for the enormous seam length would make them too expensive. Sewing complete, the inverted panels are next laid on an iron foot, as it's called, and the seams hammered out flat. During the war, all these craftsmen were employed in making airmen's helmets and flying togas. Bill Woods now takes over the completed ball and, with bladder inserted, starts to inflate until a pressure of 12 pounds per square inch is reached. When finished, it's tested for shape and stitching. So, if your pools let you down, don't blame the ball. English football has gone to the dogs at last. And here are the Boston Terriers preparing for the opening match of the Canine League Division 1. Heavy transfer fees were avoided, states George Sanger, the team manager, by the foresight of Gift, lady goalkeeper, by whose efforts 5 forwards get the ball away with a display of first-class headwork. Play up, Terriers.